We're White House aides. They never testify normally. Now, we already told you that's not true. 30 different Clinton White House aides testified in 54 different instances. Now, that doesn't mean the Clinton White House didn't fight some of this stuff and claim executive privilege, and that's what Ben was saying, too, as we went to the break there and ran out of time.
And ineffectively.
And, yeah, they fought it, but ineffectively, and then they wound up testifying. So, at the time, though, the Republicans were on the record as, giving their opinions on executive privilege. So let's hear from what the Republicans think of executive privilege, which now this White House is claiming, of course. Dan Burton, Representative Dan Burton, says, by claiming executive privilege, he is in essence telling the American people that it's none of their business. So he seems to be against executive privilege here.
It would seem so.
But he's also troubled greatly. We want to share that with you as well. Burton was one of the guys that was one of the primary investigators of Bill Clinton when he was in the White House. He's also the one that investigated the White House cat, socks, and the Christmas card list. All right, so he says, quote, it troubles me greatly to see your office reportedly involved in keeping secrets from Congress or a grand jury. So apparently, Republicans think keeping secrets from Congress totally unacceptable. Senator Orrin Hatch, Republican of Utah, quote, this is in 1999, not that far ago. The issue is whether or not we're going to let the committee be stiffed. So he doesn't believe the committee should be stiffed. So Senator Leahy, take note. Now you're the head of the committee, and your fellow, senator says definitely don't get stiffed by the White House. Oh, here's old friend John Ashcroft. Will you look at that? John Ashcroft warns about the silence out of the White House. Quote, I would simply remind them that to sin by silence makes cowards of all men. It is time for us to worry less about politics and more about our country. Socks the cat must be investigated.
He was not talking about Socks the cat at that point.
I know it's in 1998, so I assume he's referring to Monica Lewinsky or whatever the hell he's referring to, right?
Let me read you one.
But it is certainly about the claim of executive privilege, and he says, the sin of silence makes cowards of us all. And I hope his former boss, George W. Bush, has heard that.
I'd like to think that actually John Ashcroft, especially now, the fractious end of his relationship with the Bush administration, that now he'd be like, oh no, you got to testify under oath before the Senate.
Yeah, well, somebody should ask him.
Evidently, here's this quote, evidently Mr. Clinton wants to shield virtually any communications that take place within the White House compound on the theory that all such talk contributes in some way, shape, or form to the continuing success and harmony of an administration. This is from a newspaper column. Taken to its logical extreme, that position would make it impossible for citizens to hold a chief executive accountable for anything. That was Tony Snow in 1998, writing for the Detroit News.
Whoopsie-doopsie.
From day one, the chief challenge facing this White House has been to place maximum distance between Bill Clinton and his behavior. That strategy has succeeded, but only with the help of mighty assaults on our common sense.
Mighty assaults on our common sense, Tony Snow says. I got another one for you. Trent Lott today is saying, Republican from Mississippi, I think the Democrats are overplaying their hand. Well, let's see if Trent Lott overplayed his hand back in 1998. He says, quote, come forward. Tell the American people what has happened in these cases. What does he know? What is the truth? What is the whole truth? Back when they were investigating Clinton, they had to know everything. They had to come forward and tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But Senator Lott wasn't overplaying his hand. But just in case you were clear or not clear on whether he was overplaying his hand, one more quote from Senator Lott. They've taken a step that really smacks of Watergate. It certainly looks bad, like there's something that they're trying to hide. Something they're trying to hide. I wonder if that could be also used against the Bush administration. Now, probably not. Probably, though, Monica or whatever was happening with Bill Clinton, that was Watergate. Yeah, that was Watergate. Because that involved such weighty policy, political, foreign, and domestic issues. As opposed to this, where you fire 8 prosecutors who were in the middle of investigations or had already done investigations of Republicans or refused to do senseless investigations of Democrats.
They were doing their jobs, for which they were widely praised. And of course, what the Republicans wanted investigated in 1998 was comically foolish.